Hello, good evening. This is Saeed, Introduction to Finance, and this is our first lecture. Uh, yeah, this is 6 p.m. and sorry, the lecture is a bit late. So after the lecture, you can have your dinner. Uh, Hopefully, I will finish earlier. I won't keep you here for 2 hours. I will do my best, but let's see how it goes. Uh, So how we will conduct, how I will be conducting this lecture, I will be using, hold on, I will be using YouTube. Why? Because the quality of YouTube, the quality of the videos in YouTube is very high, so you can watch my videos and my lecture. This is a live lecture. This is a This is a live lecture, so the quality is HD, and I assume the sound quality should be good. And also, later I will open the videos, I mean the live lectures that I call them uh, finance live shows. Later I will open them to public. So sometimes many people who are not even my students will join our class. Previous semester, there were people from other countries, not from Taylor's University, never visited Malaysia. They were attending my class and doing the activities. And of course, there were some students from other universities like Somway, Segi, UCSR, UPM. UPM, I remember there were some students from UPM. So they were attending my class. So we will open it to public, and YouTube allow me to accommodate millions, right? Of course, not many people are interested in finance, but maybe some people are interested to watch my videos because of me. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, I will be using YouTube, but for the lecture, conducting the lecture, and for the tutorial classes, we will be using those video conference platforms like Zoom and Teams, Microsoft Teams. So I will explain. I will provide more information about the tutorial classes and lecture later during today's lecture. But something to share with you. Um, I forgot what I wanted to share with you, but anyway, there are so many things I want to share. But something that okay, yeah, good. So oh yeah, you should subscribe to my channel. So Gavin C Junyan, just subscribe to my channel. Why you need to subscribe to this channel? The reason is because later when I open the channel, I open my class to the public, then I won't post any link on time. So just at before 6 p.m. you will come to my channel and you will see a notification. You join my class easily, right? And sometimes I post some videos that related to my course because this channel has been created only for my teaching, right? I may have other channels as well, maybe for gaming, maybe for other things. Anyway, maybe. Okay, not related to our topic, so it's better to close my mouth. Anyway, so this channel has been created for my educational material. So later, I may share something with you which you may find them useful and important. So good to subscribe to this channel, and it's free. Of course, it's free. Okay, hope you are familiar with YouTube. If you are not familiar, if you came from another planet and you haven't heard about YouTube, just Google about it. Have you heard about Google? No? Okay, I can't do much about it. But okay, anyway, it seems you are, yeah, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and there are a few more things I need to share with you. One more thing is about my IG account. Again, this Instagram. So you see the name of people who are subscribing to my channel here. So subscribe, right? And So there is one more thing. I have an IG account, Instagram or Insta or IG. So you need to follow. It's not compulsory, but trust me, this has been created. This account, IG account, has been created only for my students. I have a personal account. I rarely use it, but this one has been created for my, again, teaching and learning for my, students. So sometimes I post stories which are very important. For example, suppose that suddenly something goes wrong and maybe you miss the link, or maybe something goes wrong with the lecture, or maybe for the midterm test or for the final exam, I want to quickly post something. Of course I will be using times, but times sometimes is not sometimes, actually, sometimes they don't send you the notification, so it takes time, you get updated. But if you are using IG or Instagram, just follow me there. So sometimes I post important things. For example, previous semester, I remember before the final exam, students were asking me questions about the final exam in IG, so I was responding the messages and posting those questions and answers as my story in IG, so everyone could get those information, those information anyway. So what is my account on IG? My Instagram, have you heard about Instagram? No? Okay. So okay, good. 42 people just subscribed to this channel, right? So this is my IG account. Let me show it to you. So it's dr.Saeed Sharif, right? And during the class, if you found something interesting, post it as your story on your IG and tag me. Why not? I'm interested to see what you post. So if there was something about me or about the class, so just post it there and tag me in your post. What else? Okay, one more thing. So you can use the chat box here in YouTube and communicate with your friends and me, right? So you see here, you can see, so I check these, your comments in the chat box, and we talk. Sometimes I post I show you some videos during the videos. I will be here and talk to you. So now, if you are following this video, if you are following this class, write something in chat box. I want to make sure you understand what we mean by chat box. So there is a chat box next to the video that you are watching now. Write something there. Maybe you can write, how do you mark our attendance? Okay, yeah, you can ask your questions here. The question, I received one question, how I mark the attendance through camps. It's the only way I will be using to taking the attendance for this semester. And Insta followers more than mine. Yeah, of course, because I'm handsome. No, because this is not my personal account. For my personal account, just maybe 10, 20 people are following me. This is because for my class, students follow me to get updated. Anyway, okay, thank you very much. So Wong Ju, okay, he said, I am handsome, thank you. Hi, mom. Who is your mom? Q&A, please. Yeah, of course. Gonna get it tired. Okay. Okay. The reason that I didn't open today's class to public, because I just wanted to explain these things to you. I wanted to make sure you understand how we want to conduct a class. And okay, so yeah, please write something in the chat, but I just want to make sure everyone understand what I mean. Am I talking too fast? Yes. Why? Because it's not really a new thing I'm discussing. It's about YouTube, it's about chat box. Yeah, so later I will talk slowly, right? And giveaway after reach 1K, I already reached more than 1K followers, subscribers in my YouTube channel. Okay. Oh, we have one from Nilay University. Okay. If you are really from Nilay, so post something on IG as a proof and tag me. right? There may be a price for you. Okay. So, yeah, I'm very happy that you understand how to use this chat box. And let me switch on the aircon. Now, there are a few more things in the first class I need to share with you. So, yeah, if I get 1 million subscribers, yeah, we can celebrate it. We should celebrate it, 1 million. So, what I want to share with you in the first class is about what is this module is about, MIB, your assignment, and a few more things. And there are, of course, there are some topics we need to discuss. So, if you are ready, I'd like to first introduce myself. Have you been, of course, you have not been in any of my classes, but do you know me? Do you know me? Write in the chat box whether you know me. If you know me, then we can skip. If you don't know me, then I need to introduce myself. For marking the attendance, I just said I will use CAMS. Later I will tell you, don't worry. But do you know me? No, 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 no. You don't know me. Okay. Do you know Kim Kardashian? Okay, let me introduce myself. Okay. So, I will introduce myself first. Hold on, be patient. Where is it? Ah, oh, is it? I'm famous. Number one YouTuber. Yeah, yeah. I just became number one YouTuber. Okay. Uh, okay. So, my name is Saeed. My family name is Pahlevan Sharif. I'm an associate professor in Faculty of Business and Law, Taylor's University, Malaysia. And this is my email address. But for anything related to this subject, you need to email your tutor, not me, because I have more than 500 students usually every semester, and I cannot, I cannot answer all questions or reply all emails. So what you need to do is, if you had any question, contact your tutor, and the email of your tutors already have been posted in Times. I'm originally from Iran. My hometown is Tehran, is the capital of Iran, and here you can see my photo when I was 1 or 2 years old. As you can see, I'm losing weight. So here you can see some beautiful pictures of Iran, and here the picture at the corner is Tehran, and you can see here we also have one of those towers like Kale Tower. This is something common in those countries, developing especially countries. They want to show that we are very powerful, so they usually, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So we have one in Tehran. Anyway. And here you can see Isfahan, Shiraz. So these beautiful pictures are from Isfahan and Shiraz. There are many beautiful places there. Like any other country, all countries are beautiful. Yeah, of course, I have not seen anyone who is presenting his or her country say, my country is very ugly, right? Everyone say, my country is very beautiful, my country is very beautiful. Okay, but anyway, so my country is beautiful. But anyway, so this, you see this bridge. This is, we have something like this in Putrajaya, right? That bridge, the bridge in Putrajaya is very similar to this because they made that. I don't want to say they copied, but they need to cite it. Otherwise, it's plagiarism. Anyway, And here you can see some ladies here. Why I inserted this picture? Because in Iran, I just wanted to show you how women in Iran, you can see Iran, women in Iran, when you go out, this is from Tehran, my hometown. So in Iran, after the Islamic Revolution, which was not really a good thing that happened in Iran, so all women, they need to cover their hair based on Islamic law. So it's compulsory hijab, right? I'm against compulsory hijab like many other people in Iran. I'm not against hijab. I am not against hijab. I am against anything that is compulsory, right? So women should have freedom to choose what they want to wear. Anyway, so because they made it compulsory, and many Iranian women, they think like me, they don't like compulsory hijab. So when they go out, because this is the law, they have to cover their hair. So they just put something on their hair. As you can see, they can see easily their hair, right? But they have to keep something on their head. And it's although Iran is part of Middle East, but it's different from. There are many similarities between Iran and other countries in the Middle East, but there are some differences as well. One of them is the way women usually women clothes, right? So you can see here in many Arabic countries they cover the whole body with black clothes, right? So usually you don't see anything, so it's cultural thing. But in Iran, this is very common that you see with this type of colorful clothes. So anyway, it's a good time to visit Iran because now Iran, because of the sanctions and many other issues and our stupid government, so now Iran is in a financial crisis, so everything is super cheap there, right? Now, in Iran, we have 4 seasons. So we have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And these 4 pictures are from my hometown. And Iran is well known for its Persian cat, caviar, oil, and Persian carpet. Have you tried caviar? The original one. You cannot find it in Malaysia. I haven't seen in any supermarket original caviar. In some hotels, yeah. It's super expensive. In Iran, you cannot find it in any shop. Usually they export it, right? And of course, these days we are famous for nuclear bomb, right? And here I have inserted 4 pictures of 4 famous Iranians, right? In each country, we have some people who are very famous. So I'm Iranian, so I inserted 4 pictures from Iran. Yeah. So the first one here at the corner is Pierre Omidyar. He is the founder of eBay. Have you used eBay before? The founder is an Iranian. And then we have Asghar Farhadi. Asghar Farhadi, he won Oscar award twice in 5 years. Have you watched any of his movies? And this is Anousheh Ansari. She's the first Muslim woman who went to space. And here we have Maryam Mirzakhani. Maryam Mirzakhani won the most important medal award in math. It's like Nobel Prize in math, but in Nobel Prize we don't have anything for math. So Maryam Mirzakhani, they have their own. I mean, for Nobel Prize there is nothing for math, but for those who are interested in math, scientists in math, let's say, they have their own medal. Like it's like Nobel Prize in math, and she's the only woman who won this medal. But she passed away at the age of 40 because of cancer 2-3 years ago. And I'm married and I have a son. This is my son. He's 14 years old. He's single. He has a YouTube channel. He's not really active in his channel these days because 24 hours a day he is just doing online gaming. So he made these videos. There are some professionally made videos. He made them when he was at the age of 10 or 11. I don't remember. So anyway, subscribe to his channel or just watch some of those videos. Some of them are really cool. And so his channel name is Sam Daily. Okay, so again, this is not active channel. I'm just sharing with you to know me better, right? And now, here I want to share some of the movies and TV series that I really enjoyed watching them. One of them is The Lobster, A Monster Calls, and The Game of Thrones is the best made TV series. And The Handmaiden, I enjoyed watching it. There are a few more I watched recently. One of them was, have you watched Money Heist? Money Heist. So a few Spanish from Spain and some Mexican TV series I watched recently and enjoyed watching them. One of them was Money Heist. Another one, Vis-a-Vis, or the Locked Up. Yeah. So Vis-a-Vis, Locked Up, very good. And oh, something I watched 2 weeks ago, a TV series. Just one season is out, Netflix. Um, Monarcha. Have you watched Monarcha? And now I'm watching. Oh my God, the name is very difficult to remember. I forgot the name. I forgot the name of the one that I'm watching now. Iconabella. I don't know. Anyway, and I have been here in Malaysia for 12, 13 years. I went back to my country just two, three times. The last time was a few months ago when my father passed away. And I have been localized. I eat a lot of durian. I really love durian, but these days not you cannot find it everywhere. It's also much more expensive than a few years ago. So if you have a durian farm, let me know. Send me an invitation. And I have visited different places in Malaysia. I really like statistics, math, and in terms of education, my background is electrical engineering. Then I switched to MBA finance. Then I did my PhD in business finance. And recently I obtained something like a master, a postgraduate certificate, another one in teaching and learning. And I did my PhD here at Taylor's in 2012. I started my PhD in 2012. I finished it in 2.5 years. And here you can see I'm very happy I graduated. Anyway, and in terms of research, you can Google my name later. I have more than 100 research papers published in top tier scientific journals. I have presented my research in more than 40 international conferences, and I won a few important research awards. One of them is, you can see the photo of two of them. This one is Vice Chancellor Research Award by Taylor's University. The other one, I won an award from the government in Iran. It's called Research Medalist Award, something like this. And okay, that's all. So it's me. Oh my God. Okay. So now let me just have a look at the chat box. Okay, yeah, I'm the professor. Yeah, Imran Shukri. Yeah, I'm the professor. Have you watched Money Heist? Now, what else? La 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 la. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going through the text. Okay, there are many beautiful messages. Thank you very much. Okay, now, I don't teach any tutorial. This is to answer your question. Okay, now, what else? Just quickly, let me show you do you love football? You mean playing football or watching football? Yeah, I really, yeah, like football, and I mean watching football. But because of my knee, I need to do a surgery on my knee. I cannot play football. Yeah, okay, to answer your question, Pravin Ramesh, the whole lecture will is actually recorded. I mean, it's available on YouTube, so it will be there forever. And Moz Jobrani, yeah, I'm a fan of Moz Jobrani, yeah. And yeah, the video will be there forever. Don't worry about the video. Yoga, yeah. See, okay. May I marry you? Let me type with my first wife first. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. Sandra, you said, can you start class, please? This is our class. So the class is not just 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? So be patient. Okay, you need to know me, right? You cannot just be with me for 14 weeks without knowing who is your lecturer, right? It's also easier for me to just show you some videos in Zoom and then say goodbye every week. No, this is, we will be together for 14 weeks. It's like, we will be working together for 14 weeks. So it's a lot of time. So anyway, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please press the subscribe button and follow me on IG. Now I want to share, hold on. Okay, this is times, but to see, hold on. So every week before the lecture, 15 minutes before the lecture, I will post the link to my YouTube live lecture here on times. And as I said here, you can follow me. You can follow me on IG or what? Okay, here you can see the tutors' names and their email addresses. So for anything, you contact your tutor. So don't. I will be more than happy if we had time to talk, but unfortunately, usually I have around 500 students every semester, different subjects, and I have a few admin positions. I'm the PhD program director. I'm head of research. So there are other responsibilities too. So to be able to assist you better, you need to contact your tutor, right? So this is the reason we have several tutors. So check who is your tutor, and you can contact them if you had any question. And how do we take the attendance? We use CAMS. Later you will see. This is your MI. So you can click here. You see the topics and more information about the objectives, learning outcome of this module. And there's something you need to pay attention. The midterm test will be on 8th October online during the lecture, right? So the date for the midterm test and the deadline for the assignment in your module information booklet may be different from what I have posted here. So we will follow these dates. 8th October is your midterm test. 22nd October is the deadline for your assignment, right? These are the dates we follow. And next, you don't see some of these because this is the lecturer panel, but the study guide, okay, it's not really important. Assignment is already here. For your assignment, you need to choose a company, and I will explain more about your assignment later. The company should be listed in Bursa Malaysia following your name or family name. Later I will explain this, but you can just go through it yourself. But about your tutorial classes, you see here, this one is hidden. This part is hidden. Later, I will make it available because the tutors will complete this table. So, how we will conduct the tutorial classes? For this semester, we have a mix of face-to-face and online classes for tutorials. For lectures, fully online, but for tutorials, it will be a mix of online and face-to-face, right? So, my tutors will release the name of those who are allowed to go to the class, right? Those who are allowed to go to face-to-face class. So those who are allowed, then if you want, you can go to the face-to-face class. But if you are supposed to be online, then you cannot go to class because of the social distancing or physical distancing. We can accommodate limited number of students in our tutorial class, but you need to check the list every week. So if this week, for example, your class is online, next week maybe face-to-face. Anything related to this arrangement, contact your tutor because they will decide about it, right? They will make these groups. So be patient, they haven't released the names yet. So before going to class, you need to make sure you're allowed to go to the class for face-to-face, or you should be online. And the content, the information you get in online and face-to-face will be the same, right? But for face-to-face, some students may prefer to go to the class, right? But you will get the same information. What you will get in the class, face-to-face class, is the same information that you get in online class. Previous semester, all classes were online and it was successful, right? So if for the whole semester you want to do it online, you need to contact your program director, right? You need to write to Dr. Hamdan, I think, right? To Dr. Hamdan, your program director, if you want permission to do it fully online, right? So I can do anything about it. I cannot do anything about it. So the material for every class will be released week by week. So for this week, I have released the material for the first week, right? Next week, the material will be released for the week 2. And, hold on, yeah. And, so this video is recorded. It's part of it will be on YouTube forever. I will also post it on time. So anytime you want, you can watch this video. There are many more videos I will post on times. There are many more videos I will be posting on times. Tutor classes will be starting next week. So check your timetable, see who is your tutor and when is, which day and what time is your tutor class. Okay. So now, if you allow me, let me see if there is no question, let me check the chat box. We can start our topic. I'm checking I'm going through your comments. Okay. Okay, for now, I don't see any question to answer. Okay. Which tutor do you recommend the most? Actually, you already, timetabling department has decided which tutorial class you should attend. But based on my knowledge, all tutors should provide the same. I mean, they should be almost the same. I haven't attended any of tutor classes myself, so I don't know. Will every lecture be live? I will update you. I will update you. Any other question? Okay. So if you are ready, I'd like to start today's topic. Today's topic is financial calculator. I will explain later. You need to have Texas instrument BA2 plus. We will discuss this later. Don't worry about it. So the financial calculator we will be using in this class is Texas instrument BA2 plus. But don't worry about it. We will discuss this later. So let's start today's topic. And okay, Christy, you mentioned you have emailed your finance tutor about online learning because you are not able to attend face-to-face. You remember I just said that you need to contact Dr. Hamdan, the program director. So if you want to go fully online, you need to get permission from Dr. Hamdan, your program director, right? Okay, so now let's start today's topic. Today's topic is an introduction. So it's mostly theory. There are just some terms I want to share with you. And later, in the future topics, we will have more calculation. So the first 2-3 topics is mostly, the first topic is all theory. Topic 2 and 3 is mostly accounting based, using financial statements, financial reports. And after that, it will be pure finance topics. Okay, so for today, there are just some terms I want to share with you. Now, I invite you to join a discussion on, okay, the first topic will be, hold on, yes. Okay, the first topic will be on 4 basic areas of finance. What are the 4 basic areas of finance? Be patient. I want to share it with you. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
There are four basic areas of finance: corporate finance or business finance, investment, financial institutions, and international finance. Let's talk about corporate finance first, or business finance first. The first of these four areas, corporate finance, is the main subject of this course. One thing that we should note is that the term corporate finance seems to imply that what we cover is only related to corporations or businesses, but the truth is that almost all of the topics we consider are much broader than that. Maybe business finance would be a little more descriptive, but even this is too narrow, because at least half of the business subjects that we will discuss in this course are really basic financial ideas and principles that can be applied in your day-to-day life or in different range of financial topics and beyond. Now let's talk about investments, the second basic area of finance. The investment area deals with financial assets such as stocks and bonds. Some of the more important questions that you may ask when it's about investments include: what determines the price of financial assets such as shares or shares of stocks or bonds? Number two is: what are the potential risks and rewards associated with investing in financial assets? And question number three is: what is the best mixture of different types of financial assets to hold? Students who specialize in the investments area have different career opportunities. Being stockbrokers is, of course, one of the most common ones. And as you may have heard, stockbrokers often work for large companies, advising customers on what types of investments to consider and helping them make buy and sell decisions. Financial advisors play a similar role, but they are not necessarily brokers. So later you may you may read more about them when we go through this course. Another term is portfolio managers. Portfolio management is the second investment-related career path, and portfolio managers, as the name suggests, manage money for investors. For example, individual investors frequently buy unit trusts or mutual funds. Mutual funds or unit trusts, they pool savings from individual investors, and then they invest it over different types of assets or investments. And the person who use these funds for investments is actually a portfolio manager or fund manager. Portfolio managers also invest and manage money for pension funds, insurance companies, and many other types of institutions. Another job related to this field can be security analyst. Security analysis is actually about analyzing the individual investments, such as stocks in a particular company, and security analysts, they determine whether the price is right, whether the price is overpriced or underpriced. And to do so, they need to do a very good analysis of the company and industry reports, along with a variety of other information sources that they need to use for their advice, for preparing their reports. Frequently, brokers and portfolio managers rely on security analysts for information and recommendations to make decisions. These investment-related areas, like many areas in finance, share an interesting feature. And that is, if you do them well, you can make a lot of money. But actually, you need to keep this in mind that, of course, this industry is very demanding and very competitive. So they are not definitely good for everyone. The third group is financial institutions. The third basic topic is financial institutions. Financial institutions are basically businesses that deal primarily primarily in financial matters, like banks and insurance companies that maybe the most familiar ones to you. Institutions such as these businesses, they employ people to perform a wide variety of finance-related tasks. For example, a commercial loan officer at a bank would evaluate whether a particular business has a strong enough financial position to warrant extending a loan. At an insurance company, an analyst would decide whether a particular risk was suitable for insuring and what the premium should be paid. The fourth group is about international finance. Actually, international finance is not something new, and it's a specialization within one of the main areas that we just discussed. And in other words, careers in international finance generally involve international aspects of either corporate finance, investment, or financial institutions. For example, some portfolio managers and security analysts specialize in non-US companies, or here in our context, non-Malaysian companies. They may be categorized as international finance analysts. And another example, similarly, many US businesses have extensive overseas operations and need employees familiar with such international topics as exchange rates and political risks. And also, banks frequently are asked to make loans across country lines. So international specializations is needed in these cases.
Um, some of you asked me about the textbook, and it's a good question. Let me show you the textbook you can use for this subject. Hold on. This is the textbook for this subject, Essentials of Corporate Finance. The latest edition is 10th edition. The authors are Ross and Westerfield and Jordan. Hold on, yeah. And it's by McGraw-Hill. Okay, actually it doesn't matter which edition you buy. So any edition is fine. This is the I even don't have the latest edition. It seems 10e means it has an electronic version as well, an e version as well. Usually the e version is cheaper. So the e version means you can buy the PDF file, right? If I'm not mistaken. So this is the latest version, and it's okay if you buy any version. Any other book with the same content is fine, right? So there are so many books with the same content. This is Essentials of Corporate Finance. Then you may find Introduction to Corporate Finance or many other names. So, but the one which is the official textbook of this course, this subject is Essentials of Corporate Finance, and this is the latest edition, but any edition is fine. So let me see. Yep. Okay. Now, is it compulsory to buy the textbook? Not at all. Up to you. I strongly suggest you have a textbook, because what we will discuss is just the beginning. So after that, you need to do self-study too. So you need to go through different resources and improve your understanding of the topics. But if you want to ask me whether you can pass this subject without the textbook, yeah, of course. If you go through the material I provide and the tutors provide, you should be able to pass this subject. So passing the subject is not dependent on using a textbook, right? But I personally always encourage students to have a textbook. You can borrow it, you can buy it, you can borrow from your seniors, right? Okay. which version are you using for this thing? Actually, all versions are very similar. So if you check, I mean, I have version, I think, yeah, I have 9, 8, 7, because usually the publisher used to send me a free copy every year. And based on what I have seen, not significant difference between them. So any version to me is fine. I mean, so to answer your question, which version I'm using, so any version you open, you see the same material I'm sharing with you. Free PDF version, no, of course I won't provide. I mean, I'm not also using any free version, right? Because it has copyright. Okay, so I just shared one of the topics with you to prove it free. Okay, now, okay, now there are four financial, and there are some. Sorry, there are some financial. We just discussed four basic areas of finance. Now there is something very important, and I tell you, in the midterm, the final exam, usually they having questions from the next topic I want to discuss with you, which is about financial management questions and decisions, right? Uh, the topic is relevant because later I will show you the method, the quantitative methods, the methods that you can use for some formulas to do the calculation related to these financial management decisions. So during the whole semester, I will show you how to make a better financial decisions, right? And I tell you, if you think these are just applicable to companies, you are wrong, right? So the topics that we will discuss, you can apply them in your day-to-day life, right? So for any decision making, you can use these theories and formulas, right? Later in the midterm and final exam, you will see some of the questions that they give you. You already have faced these challenges in your life. When you go to a supermarket, you need to make a good decision. When you want to buy a phone, you need to make a good decision, right? How to make this decision? It's not just based on my preference, right? There should be some methods, and I want to share these methods with you to make a better decision. And these decisions, of course, can be applied in day-to-day life and also in managing companies. So now I want to tell you what decisions we are talking about, and later in the future topics, I will share the method, the formulas, and the methods that you can apply to make these decisions, right? So what are the decisions that we are talking about? Let's see.
What is business finance? Imagine that you want to start your own business. It doesn't matter what business you want to start, but you want to start a business yourself. So now there are three important questions that you need to answer each of them. Question number one is, what long-term investments should you take on? That is, what lines of business will you be in, and what sorts of building, machinery, and equipment will you need? Question number two is, where will you get the long-term financing to pay for these investments? You know, in question number one, I asked what sorts of building, machinery, equipment you need for your business. And question number two is how you want to pay for them, how you want to pay for building, machinery, these sorts of long-term investments. Usually there are two options. You may bring new owners or you may borrow money. So you need to decide which one to choose. Will you bring other owners to the firm or you will borrow money? And question number three is, how will you manage your everyday financial activities, such as collecting from customers and paying suppliers? So these are not the only questions, but these three are the most important questions that you need to answer if you want to run a business. And business finance is the study of ways to answer these three important questions. Let me just emphasize that by business finance, we mean corporate finance. Actually, business finance and corporate finance are the same terms in this course. So in the previous topic, I mentioned that corporate finance is one of the four basic areas of finance. Actually, it's the same. It's the same as business finance. They are the same terms, just synonyms. So Now, who is a financial manager? Financial managers try to answer some or all of these types of questions, and the top financial manager in a firm is usually the CFO or Chief Financial Officer. The CFO coordinates the activities of the treasurer and controller, but the controller and treasurer may be the same people with the same person in smaller firms, but of course in large firms there may be different departments under these people with different heads. A financial manager should be good with both numbers and people. So they should be able to communicate well, and they should be very good in finance and, of course, accounting. So who are the treasurers and who is a treasurer and who is an accountant? They are the two arms of a CFO. So treasurers, they oversee cash management, credit management, capital expenditure, and financial planning. And accountant, they oversee taxes, cost accounting, financial accounting, and data processing. So here you can see a simplified organizational chart of firms, and in large firms it can be, as you can see, it can be different branches here, but in small firms there may be just small department doing all of these sort of activities. On the top you can see board of directors. Board of directors are appointed by shareholders who are the owners of the firm. So owners of the firm, they appoint they appoint directors on the board, and then board of directors, they they hire or fire managers like CEO, and then and other managers will be hired. And here you can see CFO, which is the main focus of this subject. Under CFO, there are two arms. One is corporate treasurer, and the other one is chief accountant, and you can read more about them. So please later Google or have a look at your textbook and read more about the role of each of these people in a company, in an organization. So actually the role of CFO or financial manager is to answer these three important questions that I just mentioned. So a financial manager needs to make three important financial management decisions, which are in line with the three important questions that I just mentioned. So decision number one, the first group of decisions is called capital budgeting. Capital budgeting is exactly aligned with the first important questions that I mentioned. So the question was, what long-term investments or projects should the business take on? Means what sort of machinery, what sort of fixed asset, what sort of buildings they need to buy. So any decision to address this question is called capital budgeting. So capital budgeting, it refers to the process of planning and managing a firm's long-term investment. So it's about long-term investment, not short-term investments. So long-term investments in finance, we mean investments with the life of more than 1 year, right? So if you are talking about something that its life is less than 1 year, an investment, it's not about capital budgeting. So like building machinery, these are your car, right? These are sort of capital budgeting because they are about long-term investments. In capital budgeting, the financial manager tries to identify investment opportunities that are worth more to the firm than they cost to acquire. So they need to estimate the cost and the benefits, and then to see which one and do some computation, and then they decide whether they do the investment or not. So it means that the value of the cash flow generated by an asset, for example, if they want to invest on machinery or a building, they need to assess or they need to value the cash flow generated by that specific asset and to determine whether that generated cash flow exceeds the cost of the asset. Then they would say that it's a good investment and they will invest. So the example can be, what products or services will the firm sell? Should it replace old equipment with newer? More advanced equipment should be bought or not? These are all examples of capital budgeting. And financial managers must be concerned with how much cash they expect to receive and when they expect to receive and how likely they are to receive it. So there are three important things that financial managers need to address when it's about capital budgeting. So when they want to decide whether to invest on new machinery, whether they need to replace the old equipment with new machinery, there are three important issues they need to address. Number one, how much cash they expect to receive from this new investment. Number two, when they expect to receive. Number three, how likely they are to receive it. So how much cash they expect to receive means it's about they need to assess, they need to evaluate the size of the cash flows. And when they expect to receive it, this is about timing. And number three is how likely they expect to receive it. How likely means the risk of future cash flows. So for capital budgeting, they need to assess these three important things. So in summary, capital budgeting is about long-term financial decisions, about long-term investments, long-term assets, whether the cash flow generated from the investment exceeds the cost of acquiring it. And then there are three important aspects: how much cash they expect, when they expect to receive, and what's the chance to receive, what's the risk of this investment. Now let's talk about capital structure. Capital structure is about the second question that we discussed. The second question of the three important financial management questions were how should we pay for our assets? You want to buy a machinery, how you want to finance it? You want to bring new owners or you want to borrow money? So it's about debt and equity. Debt means borrowing. You borrow, and this means debt or liability. Equity means the capital that's the money that owners put into the firm. So if you start your own business and you use your own money to run the business, this means that it's equity. But if you borrow from a bank or from your friend, this means debt or liability. So you need to decide how to raise capital for these investments that we just discussed in capital budgeting topic. So whether we should borrow or we should bring new owners. So it's about capital structure. So capital structure is about the mixture of debt and equity maintained by a firm. How the firm obtains the financing it needs to support its long-term investments is called capital structure. So capital structure is very simple. Just the proportion of debt and equity in a firm is called capital structure. And it's a very common term. So you will see it if you later check the news, Google News, Finance News, you will see that it's a very, very popular common term. So a firm's capital structure is a specific mixture of long-term debt and equity the firm uses to finance its operation. The financial manager should decide how much should the firm borrow and what are the least expensive sources of funds for the firm. So among, suppose, these two main sources of finance, which one is cheaper for the firm? Maybe in the beginning, equity means raising capital through equity. It means the money that shareholders put into the firm. Maybe it's cheaper for the firm, but later maybe they find it, it's better to borrow, or maybe in the beginning borrowing is better. And so they need to compute the cost of each of them. Later we will see in the future topics how we assess them and how we compute the cost of debt and cost of equity. And then the financial manager needs to make these type of decisions, whether to borrow or whether to bring new owners. Means, for example, issue new shares, right? Like many other companies that issue new shares to raise capital. Also, businesses borrow money from different lenders in different ways, and financial managers should choose among lenders and among loan types. So you should see which type of loan is cheaper for your company. And the third financial management decision, the third group is called working capital. So it's about the third question that we just discussed about the three important questions. How do we manage the day-to-day finances of the firm? So firms' short-term assets and liabilities, how to manage them is about working capital. So for capital budgeting was about long-term assets, means the assets with a life of more than 1 year, but working capital is about assets of a life less than 1 year. So firms' short-term assets and liabilities is about working capital. And what we mean by short-term assets is like inventory. The life of inventory should be is usually less than 1 year, and it's kind of short-term liabilities. Also, money or cash or even money owed, money that you have to pay to the suppliers, all are about the short-term activities, short-term finances. So it's all about working capital. So financial manager needs to make these sort of decisions. So managing the firm's working capital is a day-to-day activity that ensures the firm has sufficient resources to continue its operations and avoid costly interruptions. Some of the questions about working capital that should be answered include: how much cash and inventory should we keep on hand? Question number two is: should we sell on credit or cash to our customers? And number three is: how will we obtain any needed short-term financing? If we borrow in the short term, how and where should we do it? So all these questions are about working capital, means they are about the short-term assets and managing short-term assets and short-term liabilities in the form that makes sure that the company can operate smoothly without an interruption.
Okay, guys. So as I said, this topic was important because we will be working on these three decisions during the semester, and I will show you how to use different methods to make these decisions. So now, some of you asked me about how to take in the attendance. It's for this semester we have to use CAMS. Have you heard about CAMS? If not, just read the chat box. There is an intense discussion there. So CAMS, for using CAMS means I will show you a code, then you need to use Taylor's mobile app, and there is, it seems, one section for marking the attendance. Then you key in the code and you will be marked as present. So I haven't released the code. Later I will release the code. So upon you key in the code, this means you are present, right? So how to key in the code? Again, there is something related to marking attendance, and it's called CAMS, C-A-M-S, right? If you don't have the app, please install Taylor's app, because this is the method we'll be using in all modules. So any other subject you take, this is the way your attendance will be taken. And what else? It seems you can do it through the portal as well. If you go through the chat box, you see one of the students explain how to do it. No need to be connected to the Wi-Fi of the campus, right? Because this semester is a combination of online and face-to-face. So you can be in any country and use this method for taking the attendance. So no need to connect to campus Wi-Fi, right? So you can do it at home or in another country or another planet. It's okay. As long as you key in the code, it's fine. And what else? Yeah, you can use your own Wi-Fi. Okay, guys. Now, so working capital management. Yes, actually, in the future topics we will be discussing more about it. So for now, I just suggest you just go through the video again, and also please Google. Right? As I said, we have limited time, and during this time, we can just mention about some topics and briefly discuss. So later, it's good if you read more about it. But working capital management, we will discuss this more in the future topics. And okay, Are you ready? There is something short I want to share with you. There's a short topic I want to share with you. It's about financial management goal. We have different forms of businesses. We have international firms. We have private. We have publicly listed firms. Uh, we have firms in different industries. So we want to know what should be the financial management goal. So what is the ultimate goal of a firm? What do you think? Why don't you write in the chat box what do you think is the financial management goal? What's the goal of a company? What's the ultimate goal of a company, right? Why don't you write your opinion in the chat box? What is the ultimate goal of a company, corporation? Profit. Andrew mentioned profit. Very good answer, but there may be other goals as well, right? Sheikh mentioned making profit, making money, yeah, earning money. These I'm just reading your messages. Maximizing profit, make money, make profit. The company doesn't go into bankruptcy. By another It is another message. Get profit, minimize loss, maximize shareholder wealth, brain sustainability, maximizing profit. Okay, yeah, many of these messages are about making profit or reducing the loss, reducing the costs, or right. So I agree with you, but these are a bit vague, right? They are a bit broad, right? So I want to share with you. Actually, you are all right? But we need something more accurate, right? So there's a 3 minutes video. I want to explain to you what is actually in the real world, what is the goal of a company. So this video is just 3 minutes, as I mentioned.
What should be the goal of a corporation? Maximizing the profit, minimizing the costs, maximizing market share. Actually, profit maximization is, I think, the most commonly cited business goal that you may find in different resources, and maybe the first answer that came to your mind when I asked this question. But unfortunately, this goal is not clear. What do we mean by profit maximization? Are we talking about this year profit? Then what about the next year? What about the long term? Is it sustainable to just maximize the profit and minimize the cost this year? Can we survive? So, to answer this question, first I need to ask you another question. Why may you buy stocks? Stockholders buy stocks usually because they want to make profit. You buy stocks, you buy shares of companies like Apple, you buy shares of Petronas because you want to make profit. So the answer to our question is clear. Good decisions increase the value of the stock and poor decisions decrease it. This is from the shareholders' point of view. So from the shareholders, the owners of the firm's point of view, we consider a financial decision, a good decision if it increases the value of the stock. So if you are the stockholder, any financial decision that increases the value of your stocks, you consider it as a good decision. You don't care about any other thing, right? You just want to increase the value of the shares that you have. So any decisions that decreases the value of these stocks, you consider it as a bad decision, bad financial decision management. So, given our observations, it follows that the financial manager acts in the shareholders' best interest by making decisions that increase the value of the stock. So the appropriate goal for the financial manager in corporation can therefore be stated as the goal of financial management is to maximize the current value per share of the existing stock. Or in a more general form, we can say that maximizing the market value of the existing owner's equity is the financial management goal of corporations. So with this goal in mind, it doesn't matter whether the business is individual or is partnership or is a corporation or whether this is a domestic company or is an international firm. So for each of these, good financial decisions increase the market value of the owner's equity, and poor financial decisions decrease it. Of course, the goal does not imply that the financial manager should do something illegal or unethical to increase the value of the equity in the firm. So they need to do something sustainable and ethical.
Okay. So now we know what is the goal of all. So all is about maximizing the current value of the shareholder. So when my camera is okay, anyway. So yeah. So today's topic is just an introduction. So there are just some concepts we want to discuss. But this module is mostly calculation. You will see in the futures topics. So if you like math and formulas and calculation, you will enjoy this topic a lot. Even if you don't like them much, so I will do my best to make them easy to understand and easy to apply. Some of you asked me about the financial calculator for this subject. Yes, this is part of the subject. You need a financial calculator, and the financial calculator that we use in this subject is Texas Instrument BA2 plus, right? So Texas Instrument BA2 plus. Later I will share more information with you. It used to be last year, before the corona virus pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, we used to invite an agent from Texas Instrument directly come to class and sell it directly to the students at a lower price, and it was much easier for the students to buy it on the campus. But of course, for this semester, I'm not sure whether we can do it because of the issues we have. But let me talk with the guy, with the agent, and see what we can do. Previous semester, I just posted his contact number. So students, some of them bought, but you can buy it from any source. So as long as the same financial calculator is fine, because I will show you how to use this calculator for the calculations. Okay. Now, yes, exactly. Who has written this? Hoy. Hoy. Texas Instrument BA2 plus. This is exactly the model we will be using in this subject. Yeah, this, as I mentioned, this lecture will be recorded. I mean, it's already part of YouTube, so whoever has the link can watch this forever. The video will be there forever. Okay. Are you hungry? Oh boy, too loud. Are you hungry? This is 7:15 p.m. There are, we will discuss about the financial calculator later more. Yeah, I will teach you how to use Texas Instrument BA2 plus. Are you hungry? Yeah, I am also hungry. I forgot to bring some food here, so I only have my cup of water here. Yeah. So, what will you have for your dinner? I need to cook. I need to cook. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. There are two more things we want to discuss. It's related to today's topic, but yeah, my mom cooked some chicken. Good for you. Yeah, my mom is not here to cook for me. I have to cook myself. So, you cannot use the normal calculator because the normal calculator does not have these functions, the functions we want to discuss. Yeah, Maggie also is easy to cook. And okay, grab food. Yeah, grab food. Yeah, good idea. Easy. Okay, guys, there are two more topics. So my idea is I will share one of them with you for now. The other one I can post it on Times to watch it later, right? So the one that I want to talk about it now is very important. It's about agency problem. Have you heard about agency problem? Let me see. So agency problem or agency cost, right? So this is a very important topic. So in the midterm test and maybe in the final exam, there will be questions about it, but it's not about the exam. It's a topic which is very important. Later, you will see when you know this topic, it will help you to make a better decision in your life. And let me see if there is any question here. Okay, what calculator we need? Okay, repeat so many times. Okay, now, I'm just reading your comments. Okay, actually, I've answered many of these questions that you are asking, so I won't repeat it a million times. So later, watch the video, please. Okay, guys. So, well, one more thing. I have received some emails and many messages during the lecture. Guys, as I said, for anything related to this subject, you need to contact your tutor, right? I'm not the right person to ask the questions. It's almost impossible to answer the questions that you send, email me or texting me, because again, I think more than 500 students. So I have some tutorial classes for other subjects, not for this subject. So I have the person in charge for those students in my tutorial class. So you need to see who is your tutor and ask the questions from your tutor. Okay, for the price of the calculator, I don't know for this semester. For previous semester also, I don't remember. I think it was around 160 something. I need to check. But you can buy it online. But the problem was because we have so many students and there are not enough, because the person who used to come to the campus, it seems he sent me some documents that he's the only person who is allowed to sell this calculator, distribute this calculator, something like this. So for previous semester, I used to negotiate with him and ask him to reduce the price for the students. Let's see, but you don't need it now, so you still have time. Later, I will update you about it. No, you don't need. I don't think the price is should be much less than 200 ringgit. But anyway, let's see. Also, you can buy it from your seniors, those who pass these subjects. But if you take any other finance modules, you will be using the same calculator. Also, many tests, those professional tests, later, this is the calculator you are allowed to use during the tests, right? So, so you can, yeah, if you can buy it second hand from your friends, senior friends, buy it, and later you can sell it online, right? Okay, guys, there is so one more topic about agency problem, and actually what I wanted to do is to do some activities today, but this is the first class, so there was a lot about the module, about myself, so I don't want to take your time much. So yeah, there's one more topic that we will take the attendance, and let's see how it goes. Hopefully we will finish the class a bit earlier. So guys, are you ready? So this topic is important. Hey, hello, this may be in your midterm test. There will be in your midterm test and maybe in your final exam.
This figure 1.2. In this video, I like to talk about agency problem and agency cost. So the relationship between stockholders and management is called an agency relationship. Agency relationship exists when someone that we call him or her principal hires another person that we call him or her the agent to represent his or her interest. For example, when I want to sell my car, I may hire an agent and then ask the agent to sell my car. So the car doesn't belong to the agent. The agent has been hired to sell my car, and I'm the owner of the car. So what you can see here is a separation between the owner and the agent. So owner is called the principal, and the agent is called agent is a person who has the control over the assets that belongs to me. So it's the same situation in companies. In companies, we have some, in corporations, we have some owners or shareholders that they own the firm, and then they hire some managers to manage the firms for them. So those managers are agents, and shareholders and owners of the firm are principal. So in this case, we have agency relationship. So what's the problem? The problem is, in my example, that an agent wants to sell my car. Assume that I just tell the agent that, okay, upon you sell my car, I will pay you 5,000 ringgit commission. Suppose the market value of my car is 100,000 ringgit. So now the agent knows that if he or she, the agent, sells my car in the market at any price, the agent will get 5,000 ringgit commission. So what the agent may do? The agent won't do his or her best to sell my car at the highest possible price. Even if the agent sells my car at 20,000 ringgit, still he or she can receive 5,000 ringgit commission. So he may sell or she may sell my car in a price much lower than the market price, because the agent just wants to get his or her commission. So there is an agency problem here, and this is called agency cost, right? Means cost of such relationship. So how to reduce this? One solution can be, I would tie the commission of the agent to his or her performance. For example, I would say, I will pay you 10% of the selling price. So if you sell the car at 100,000, I would pay you 10,000 ringgit. Or if you sell the car at 50,000 ringgit, then I would pay you 5,000 ringgit commission. So in this case, there is a higher chance the agent will take action in the way to maximize, to protect my interest, to maximize the share, to maximize the selling price, right? Because the agent will benefit as well. So by this action, I'm reducing the agency cost. So when managers fail to take advantage of a valuable opportunity available to the firm, there is agency cost. Imagine that a corporation is considering a new investment, and the new investment is expected to increase the share price. So who is happy in this case? Shareholders. So there is a large company and there is an investment opportunity, and if the managers take that opportunity, invest, then the share price will increase. But there is a problem. This investment is also risky. In my example, this investment is also risky. So the owners of the firm will wish to take the investment because the share value will increase, but the management may not, because there is a chance that things may go wrong, and then in this case, the management will lose their jobs. So if the management does not take the investment, then the stockholders may lose a valuable opportunity. So in this case, we have an agency cost. So the managers may not go for the investment opportunity, but shareholders who are the owners of the firm, they wish to. So there is an agency cost here. Another example can be the managers would tend to maximize the amount of resources that they control. Because there are some reasons. One is because they want to have more power or more wealth, and also it's good for their reputation when the size of the firm is larger. Also, their income is in most cases depends on the size of the firm. So this goal could indeed, the interest to have a larger firms would lead to an interest in business size or growth. And in this case, the management may overpay to buy another company just to increase the size of their business or to demonstrate that they have power. So obviously, if overpayment does take place, such a purchase does not benefit the owners of the purchasing company. Because suppose I'm the owner of the company And now the management will go to another company and buy another company to add it to the existing company, and they may overpay. Why they may overpay? Maybe because they just want to increase the size of the current firm. And in this case, owners don't like it. Owners don't want to buy things expensive. So there is an agency cost here. Or maybe managers, they would say, oh, we need to buy luxurious cars, we need a private jet, because when we want to go to China to negotiate, we want to impress them. So now we don't know whether they really want to buy the luxurious car and private jet for the benefits of the company or no, because they want to use it, right? Everyone wants to have a luxurious car. Everyone wants to have a private jet. So in this case, we have agency problem. So to reduce the agency cost, there are different mechanisms, internal and external. You can read more about them. Please just search for corporate governance mechanisms to reduce agency costs. And one of them, for example, which is very the most maybe commonly used method is board independency. Means the companies will appoint independent independent board members. Means part of the board, there must be, actually is the requirement in Malaysia, also a requirement by Bursa Malaysia, some of the board members must be independent from the operation of the firm. They should not have any direct benefit in the firm. So these people, these board members will monitor the management actions and decisions to make sure that what they are doing is to maximize the shareholders' equity. Another one is managerial compensation. This is also another mechanism. So management will frequently have a significant economic incentive to increase share value of the firm. There are two reasons that they may do their best. The managers would do their best to maximize to increase the current share value of the firm. Number one is managerial compensation, particularly at the top, is usually tied to the financial performance of the firm. Like the example that I just provided for selling my car, I said that if the manager sells my car, I would pay 10% of the commission rather than paying the agent a fixed commission. I would tie it to the selling price of my car that I want to sell. So it's the same thing in corporations. They would tie the managerial compensation to company's financial performance. So now in this case, the manager should maximize the shareholders' wealth, means the value of the company, to have higher salary, to have higher income, to have higher compensation. And in many cases, actually, especially in large firms, managers are given the option to buy stock at a fixed price. So this means that today, if a manager is hired, a CEO, for example, is hired in a firm, in a large firm like Apple, so they would say, okay, today's share price of Apple is $1,000. So now you are the manager of this firm, and we expect you, based on the goal of financial management that we just discussed in this topic, we expect the managers to maximize the current value of shareholders' equity, right? So we hire a new manager and we tell the manager, now you have 1 year to increase the share value of the firm. So currently, the share price of Apple, assume that it's traded at $1,000. So we tell the manager, now we give you the right to buy the shares of this company at $1,000 per share in the next 12 months. Now, if manager, for example, makes good financial decisions and manage the firm very well, then the share price of the firm will increase. After 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, maybe the share price will increase to 1,500 ringgit per share. Then the manager would tell the company that, okay, I want to use the right that you gave to me. I had the right to buy, for example, 1 million shares at $1,000 in the first 12 months of my service. So the market price now is 1,500 ringgit per share, but the manager can buy the share from the company at 1,000 ringgit or dollar, right? So this means 500 ringgit profit per share, right? This is actually the way they make a lot of money. The top management team in large firms, they make a lot of money. So the managers are offered the option to buy the stock of the firm at a fixed price over the next 12 months. Now, if the managers do well, then the share price will increase, and they still can buy the same shares at the fixed price they agreed on the first day. So it's profit for them. So they will do their best to increase the share price of the firm because they still can buy it at the same price. But if the price goes down, no benefit for them. If the price drops, if they don't do well, and the share price dropped to 500 ringgit per share, now, of course, they won't use this right. I mean, there's no benefit for them to buy the share that is currently traded in the market at $500 from the company at $1,000, right? So this is another mechanism that motivates managers to do well and make decisions that maximizes the current shareholders' equity value. The second incentive managers have is the future job opportunities. Better performance within the firm will tend to get promoted. So some managers may do well, and by doing well, you remember, making good financial decisions means decisions that increases the current value of the existing shareholders' equity, and they will get promoted, so their salary, everything will increase. And more generally, those managers who are successful in pursuing stockholders' goals will be in greater demand in the labor market. So later, if they want to go to another company, it's easier for them, and also there are more job opportunities for them. Another mechanism, another group is the third one actually we are discussing. I have given you some examples. One of them was board independency. Another one was managerial compensation. And now I want to tell you about corporate control. So control of the firm ultimately rests with stockholders because they are the owners of the firm. They elect the board of directors, and board of directors in turn will hire and fire managers. So the mechanism by which unhappy stockholders can act to replace existing management is called a proxy fight. So proxy fight is a mechanism whereby a group of unhappy shareholders vote to replace the existing management, because actually they can do it. Owners can appoint new board of directors. They can change the board of directors. And then board of directors will change the managerial team. So if the managers are not doing well, then stock price will go down. Then shareholders are not happy. So they change the board of directors, and new board of directors will hire new managers. Another example is takeover. So if a company, the managers are not doing well, as a result, the share price, they are not making good financial decisions, so the share price of the firm will drop. Now what happens? The company is undervalued. Then another company may find it a good target to buy the firm, right? To take over the firm. So another company, when the managers are not doing well, the share price will go down. And as a result, another company may take over this firm. And what happens? The managers would lose their jobs. So avoiding a takeover by another firm gives management another incentive to act in the stockholders' interests. So our discussion so far implies that management and stockholders are the only parties with an interest in the firm's decisions. However, this is an oversimplification. Of course, there are other stakeholders like employees, customers, suppliers, and even the government. All have financial interests in the firm. So we name them as other stakeholders. So by stakeholders, we mean someone other than a shareholder or creditor who potentially has a claim on the cash flows of the firm. Other groups also have financial stake in the firm, and they can provide a valuable monitoring tool, but they can also try to force the firm to do some things that are not in the owner's best interests.
Here is a bit dark. I need to use my mobile torch. Yeah, I'm using my, this is my lighting. Okay, there is one more video. I will post it on Times. I know everyone is super hungry now, and me too. I can't. So, what we want to do now is to take the attendance. So guys, for the attendance, as I mentioned, you need to use Taylor's mobile app, or it seems some of the students told me that you can use the portal as well. So there is something called CAMS, C-A-M-S, or it's for marking the attendance, right? So attendance marking. So I will release a code in a few minutes, then you pin the code. Are you ready? I will give you 2 minutes to set up your device. Okay. Are you ready? Yep. Do you want some ice cream? Okay. No, this is not ASMR. This is just a lecture is starving. That's all. Why we need to have a lecture at from 6 to 8 p.m. Next semester it can be midnight, right? Who knows? Okay. Guys, please help your friends, because if anyone has problem, they are writing in the chat box. If you saw anything you could help, please help your friends. So we need to do camps, right? Yi Jun, I wish you were here. We could share the ice cream. Okay. Trade simulation. If you want, we can have one session on trade simulation. Yeah, Taylor's mobile app. I don't have Taylor's mobile app, but you need to have it as a student. So if you are ready, I want to release the code. This is for taking the attendance. Guys, if you missed it, please don't email me, right? Because this is the system, right? Don't worry about it. We can practice. So let's start. I want to, hold on. I want to share my screen to show you the code. Hold on. Okay. So now I want to share my screen with you. Hold on. Are you ready? So when I press start, when I press start, there will be a code here. Then you need to key in the code in your attendance marking, whatever, in camps, right? You see, camps. Are you ready? If you are ready, write in the chat box. Then I will release the code. Are you ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hold on. Okay, I want to release the code. 3, 2, 1. Start. This is the code, guy. This is the code. This is the one you need to key into system. Yep. $252, $264, $270. Okay, should I stop it now? $278, $281. Should I stop it? Okay. If you already did, you may leave. There is no point to stay because there's one more topic I will post it on times. So I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yep. Bye-bye. If you couldn't use Taylor's mobile app, use the portal. If you couldn't use Taylor's mobile app, use the portal. Yeah, Penina, take care. You need to, for Menon, as I said, you need to use the mobile app or the portal. There should be something for marking the attendance. And then you need to install the app because all classes in Taylor's University will be using the same method for taking the attendance. There's no issue if you could not do it today, but as I said, all classes will be using the same method. Yeah, go to my information according to Samuel. Yeah, Samuel, please help Menon. Guys, if you don't have the app, go to the portal. According to Samuel, in the portal there is something called My Information. Then go to Attendance Marking. Thank you, Penina. So those who still have problem, please follow the instruction by Samuel and Penina in the chat box. You can go to information, then click my attendance, then it should pop up, then you can mark your attendance from there. Alright guys, you have 2 minutes to complete this. Hope you could make it. Samuel, your Penina. Yeah, man, and if you really follow, if you carefully follow Penina and Samuel, Penina's instruction, and still you can't key in the code, you need to contact ICT. As I mentioned, this is the method we'll be using in all classes. It's not only this class and today. Okay, those who couldn't make it, you need to install Taylor's mobile app. Yeah, there's no issue if you couldn't do it today. It's totally fine. But for the future classes, make sure that you can key in the code, right? If there's any issue, please contact ICT. Okay, I need to end this stream because the video will be too long, but I'm in the chat box.